Welcome into the first episode of the 2025 edition of the Penn State Baseball Show. I'm your host, Tyler Millen, joined by junior outfielder Paxton Kling, one of the hottest hitters in the college baseball season through the first 2 weeks. Paxton, thanks so much for taking the time. Congrats on the great start to the season.
Thank you, Tyler. Appreciate it.
Coming off a dominant weekend against Longwood, 4 home runs, 538 batting average, 6 RBIs in the 3-game sweep. You're named Big Ten Player of the Week, Perfect Games, National Player of the Week. When we talked a few weeks ago, you mentioned making some swing adjustments with your stance. What's gone into your success early in the season?
Yeah, just being confident and comfortable in myself. This is my third go around with this season and everything. So it's really just being comfortable in your own skin and just playing baseball and enjoying it, which we have a really good group together. So we all have fun and we're having a good time doing it.
The sweep over Longwood is Penn State's first non-conference road sweep since 2018. You guys scored 36 runs. It's the most in a 3-game series since 2021. What's impressed you about the way that this group is playing offensively early in the season?
Yeah, I mean, we talk about being relentless, and we truly take that to heart. Like we're a tough team. We're hard to get out right now, so we got to keep it going and just stick with that, stick with our roots, and know our game. And like I said, just continue to be resilient and relentless with 2 strikes and just moving forward.
I heard there was some karaoke on the bus on the way to Virginia. Who impressed you with their singing skills? Who's the best singer on the team?
Well, Wags won it. Wags beat me somehow.
Okay.
I don't get how, but I should have won. But he won. But
you
no,
say it was rigged?
Yeah, it was rigged. No, it was cool though. Yeah, a bunch of guys got up that you never thought like you would hear them do that. Mostly like out of the freshmen. So yeah, it was a really cool experience that we did that, and we had a lot of fun with it.
When we talked before the season began, you mentioned the blue-collar nature of this lineup, and you talked about being relentless. Through the first 6 games, we've certainly seen that, but we've also seen this group's ability to hit for power. You guys are tied for 12th nationally in home runs right now with 13 as a group. How would you describe what it's like playing in this lineup and how potent it is?
Yeah, no, it's a really good lineup. The pop and the bats kind of surprised me this early on. We look really good right now, but I mean, we're not trying to do too much. Like, we're not trying to go up there hitting homers at all. It's just, all right, we're going to stay low, live low, and hit liners. And I mean, we're backspinning balls to get out, and that's just what's happening. So I mean, as long as we stick with that approach and stay boring and just try to hit liners in the gap, we're going to be fine.
I want to take you back to the opening weekend in Puerto Rico, bottom of the 9th against UConn, tying run scoring position with 2 outs. You make a sliding grab to end the game. Coach Gambino has called you a Gold Glove caliber player and compared you to a guy that he coached at Boston College with Brewers outfielder Sal Frelick. What do you remember about that play when you go back to it? And what goes into your defensive approach in center field?
Yeah, it was kind of weird. I kind of just like pictured the ball was going to come to me in that moment. I wanted the ball to get hit to me, and the guy got it pretty good. It was like 105 in the gap, and I mean, I got a good jump on it and just made a play. It's just reactions out there, and thankfully God gave me the gift to play outfield really well. So it's just continue to do that and not trying to overthink it and just be reacting out there and just play.
Who are some of the guys at the professional level in terms of outfielders that you kind of model your game after and guys you can look at in terms of a film perspective and kind of take some things into your own game?
Well, I'm honored that Bino said that I'm like Sal Frelick. He's really good. I always loved Mike Trout in the outfield when he would go rob homers in center field and everything. Loved when he did that. So I would probably say Mike Trout.
It's a pretty good guy to emulate, a guy that's got a couple MVPs.
No doubt, no doubt.
There's a lot of veterans on this roster. 15 transfers been brought in, 7 different guys that have played in an NCAA tournament before, including yourself, won a national championship in 2023. How have you developed yourself as a leader on this group, knowing what it takes to Omaha and make it to the College World Series?
Yeah, I mean, it's really just speaking up and just like going out of your comfort zone to let guys know and hold them accountable on everything that needs to be done. I mean, going to Omaha is not easy at all. Like, it's very hard. You don't see a lot of teams go back-to-back years. So, I mean, with this team, it's just keeping our head down and working and holding each other accountable as we go through this journey together.
What went into – because you talked about the continuity and the connection of this team. What went into that throughout the offseason, and how did you guys build that culture to have a strong start for the season?
Yeah, I mean, we just hung out. We all hung out together. A lot of locker room time. When you have long days at the field, you always just hang out in the locker room and have good times with that. But yeah, I mean, like I said, like the karaoke thing, that was just out of the blue. Like someone just brought it up on the bus, and we're like, yeah, let's do it. And it just shows that like we're close enough that we can kind of like embarrass ourselves in front of each other and just sing and have fun. So I mean, it's a cool group to be with, and yeah, I mean, we kind of built this throughout the fall and now.
I want to take you back to that national championship run. You got a front row seat to what Paul Skeens and Dylan Cruz accomplished. The first two picks of the 2023 MLB draft. Skeens said, and I want to read this quote to you: "If there's one person that I've met who can be like Dylan, it's Paxton. He's a special guy, a special player, and a special human." To hear that from a guy that was your locker mate, how would you describe the impact that those two guys, especially Paul, with him being your locker mate, the impact that those guys have made on you as a baseball player and as a person?
Yeah, I love Paul and I love Dylan. They're good guys. Very honored to be compared to Dylan, but I mean, I just try to be Paxton. I just try to play my game and be myself. And yeah, I told them that when I was there too. So, but yeah, it was great being around them because they went about stuff the right way. They always did. And like I was just talking about accountability, they held everyone accountable. Like we would always have sit downs in the locker room where we would talk about what we need to do to move forward and get better. And they were really good at just letting people know what they thought. And like if they came off like rude or whatever, like it was fine because that group was so tightly knit like this one that it was fine because we just knew they're holding us accountable and that they just want the best for us as we want for us. And yeah, I mean it's just a team game, and they taught me how to really lead a team and to be together as one.
When we talked a couple weeks ago, you mentioned how Paul had you reading audiobooks
Yeah.
and getting locked in from that perspective. How did that kind of, reshape your mindset as a baseball player?
Yeah, I mean, it's just being able to learn in different levels. Like, baseball is such a hard game, and like you can learn in different ways, and just like listen to those audiobooks and try and understand them just makes you learn differently, and it makes you have a good mindset on certain things. And that's mainly what Paul would tell me. Like, he's like, "Hey, I want you to listen to this because I want you to think about this." And I'm like, "All right, cool." So, yeah, I would do that and listen to them and try to learn in different ways. And him and I would sometimes like think differently on certain things, and we would talk about it. So
Did you ever have to face him in BP? What was it like going up against him?
yeah, I faced him. He struck me out a couple of times. He was good. Yeah.
You're reunited at Penn State with your brother Leighton, who you grew up playing wiffle ball with in the backyard. You guys played together at Central High School. What does it mean to you to be back with him and keep building that connection here at Penn State?
Yeah, it's awesome. I mean, I never would have thought I'd be going to college with my brothers, but yeah, it's really cool because he lives like 10 minutes down the road from me now, so it's good to see him around. He isn't around much right now because he's student teaching and everything, but when that starts cooling off a little bit, he's going to come down to like every home weekend. He's going to be here, and he's going to come down to some ways, so it'll be good to see him around.
You guys are back in action this weekend with Richmond, VCU, and William & Mary down in Virginia. How do you go about maintaining that early season success this weekend?
Just be us. Just not try to do too much. Just play the game of baseball that we've been playing, and just being confident and comfortable with our own skin, and just playing the game like we know how. And like I said, just not doing too much so we can keep this thing rolling.
Great. Thanks so much, Paxton. Thank you for taking the time this morning. Greatly appreciate it.
Yep. Thank you. Appreciate it.